Julie Sirkin, thank you. And don't miss Kristen Welker's big lineup on Meet the Press tomorrow morning right here on NBC. Now to Michigan, where we are learning more about a deadly shooting spree where 5 people were killed and the hero teen who called police. Valerie Castro has the latest.
Tonight, the search for a motive.
Another shooting in the United States. Why am I not surprised? Oh my God. This is this happens too often. It's like every other day the news reports about it, but every single day there are multiple mass shootings in the United States. There are multiple other shootings that don't qualify as a mass shooting where people are killed. And that stuff goes under the radar as well. Like you can literally report on this like 4 times a day. More than that, probably. It's crazy.
Taking big steps to scale it back. That's coming up next.
I just want to skip through the news, honestly.
And we are back with the battle over technology in schools heating up tonight. The Los Angeles School District, the second largest in the country, is taking a big step to scale back screen time. And as Dana Griffin reports, it could set a trend.
Damn woke teachers taking away our screen time, our precious screen time.
For Los Angeles third grader Kiara, less time in front of a screen means more quality time doing activities like these.
The fiddle and the noise of the dancing.
With her dad, Aaron Craig, relieved his daughter's class won't spend so much time on devices this year.
I think it is a step in the right direction.
Craig is part of Schools Beyond Screens, a
California.
parent and teacher-based coalition that helped convince the second largest school district in the nation, Los Angeles Unified, to limit screen time for students.
It will signal a new era of responsible tech use in schools.
The new resolution ensuring there's 0 screen time until students are in 2nd grade. Social media and streaming websites will be blocked on campus, and students won't automatically be assigned take-home devices, though parents can still request one.
I hope this really starts a trend. I mean, when
LA school board member.
Oh, they will not automatically be assigned take-home devices.
Though parents can still request one.
I hope this really starts a trend. I mean, when
LA school board member Nick Melvoin says tech can be a powerful tool, but he wants to see schools use it responsibly.
We can't put our head in the sand and pretend it doesn't exist, but the promise of ed tech, of revolutionizing things for kids, is just not there. Instead, we see kids who are glued to their screens, who are addicted to social media. So it was important for me to recalibrate and get kids back to the basics.
About 9 in 10 public schools nationwide give students tech like laptops or tablets. Christina Grant is the executive director for education policy research at Harvard University.
If you limit the screen time, but the classrooms are not rich and engaging in places where kids want to learn, we still aren't going to see the progress we want to make. And the converse is true as well.
The debate over tech in classrooms highlighting an ever-changing learning landscape, with some schools, like privately run Alpha schools, leaving teaching and curriculum to AI. Alpha currently enrolling at dozens of campuses across the country. Or this proposed project in the Salamanga City Central School District in rural New York to deploy a humanoid teacher from Realbotics AI to teach high school seniors.
Student login.
Was that the previous porn bot that was dressed up as a teacher?
The company tells us the pilot program is temporarily paused to address data privacy concerns. NBC News reached out to the district for comment.
There was one where they had like a bot come in, and it was like previously it was a porn bot, like a literal
but have not heard back.
That's great, honey.
Back in LA, Aaron Craig says he's happy his district made changes.
I have yet to have a parent that's like, no, I really want my child spending all day on an iPad.
Families and educators charting a path through a digital world still being written. Dana Griffin, NBC News.
And we are back in a moment with new health concerns for Dolly Parton as the legendary singer cancels a scheduled appearance. Next.
I mean, she's getting up there.
And we are back with a dramatic rescue caught on camera. This body cam video from upstate New York showing a police officer running up to a burning home with flames shooting out the window. The officer runs up to the back deck and gets in the door with that thick smoke billowing out, eventually saving an 80-year-old man who was trapped inside. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And in the sports world, St.
A
Louis
little propaganda for you for your afternoon, by the way. Just a little. Cops are the good guys, actually.
Cardinals rookie Joshua Baez entering the MLB with quite the bang by hitting not one,
Just gonna
not two, but
slip that
three.
in there, right? You know, rookie hits 3 home runs in 1 game. Very nice. All right. Anyway, on to other news, I guess, or maybe this. Woke 1.0 versus Woke 2.0.
It's become obvious we need to address some changes that have happened over the years. Let me start first by asking...
What, are you going to do a land acknowledgement?
No, but should we? Pronouns?
There we go.
What?
Nobody has time for this.
The differences between us have become heightened. I feel that as your progenitor,
Gross.
I have some responsibility in your current outlook.
What outlook, man? We're sitting in your master bedroom.
Primary.
Talking about what? Words?
Ideals and goals.
They hate the establishment Democrats.
That's why everyone wants to distance themselves from you. Woke 1 was kind of crazy.
You're just a fearful step backwards. We had Donald Trump, COVID, the Imagine music video. We had no choice but to be bold in our language. Also, I just want to point out that we're both white, heteros.
Oh man, I almost forgot the Imagine music video with Gal Gadot. That was a time. Whew, we had it so good.
Sexual men having this conversation. Just want to acknowledge that.
I acknowledge
So
it.
what? You're so much better now. Just me, but scared to look stupid.
We're evolving, understanding optics, recognizing we can't win and help people's material circumstances unless we chill on the culture war stuff.
You mean lose on culture war stuff, which you clearly have, which is why you're so aloof and holier than thou.
Please, we're cool now. We're less tax the rich and more fuck the rich.
Language.
During Woke 1, we'd be like, let's defund the police. During Woke 2, we're like, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else.
Do you hear
True.
yourself? Hey folks, it's me, Woke 3.
Can you
Oh shit, Woke 3.0. What the fuck?
educate this moron?
Woke 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's me, Woke 3, kind of a metatextual wokeness written to critique and stand apart from whatever conversation's happening. Tell us who becomes president. Oh, there's no more presidents. I'm from way into the future. We don't get to Woke 3 for a while. So we just cycle back and forth between Woke 1 and Woke 2 for many decades, debating semantics and optics and so forth. I don't understand. As Woke 3, I more or less exist to critique the various eras of wokeness, but even then my use is more academic, useful to researchers of past eras. I don't understand. I'm a postmodern invention. I'm commenting upon the text. Friend that's a little too woke. Am I right?
Shut the fuck up. That's my thing.
That's my thing. I feel like Woke 3.0 will just encompass Woke 1.0 and 2.0 and use their lifeless limbs as its main operating system. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, back to the news. Oh yeah, it's doing this thing where I can't hear the fucking audio. I hate these extensions so much. They make me so mad. Where's Instagram thingy? Where's my Instagram volume thing that I've put in here? Better videos for Instagram. There we go. Pause auto skip when comments are... That doesn't do any good action. Gotta manage this extension real quick and disabled. Fantastic.
Luigi Mangione has pled guilty to a federal stalking charge in the case of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Here's what he said.
On the morning of December 4th, 2024, Mr. Thompson in Manhattan, and I knew what I was doing was illegal. After years of enduring severe pain from a broken back, navigating the obstacles of the health insurance system, and witnessing similar experiences of countless others, I learned that United Healthcare would be holding its annual investor conference in New York City on December 4th, 2024, although the specific location was not publicly disclosed. I observed that the annual conference of America's largest healthcare organization, with the stated mission to make the health system work better for everyone, would be attended by company executives, the board of directors, and hundreds of investors, not doctors, nurses, and patients. I emailed United Healthcare's leadership, posing as an investor managing $58 billion. Unlike my other experiences with the company, I was contacted back in 1 hour. My travel to New York and email to United Healthcare was with the intent to... Brian Thompson.
There's been many statements, including that of New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
To those who idolize Luigi Mangione, I say this. Violence is not a cause, is not a message, and is certainly not a hero. The defendant committed this in an attempt to draw public attention to his dislike of certain businesses. But we live in a civilized society, governed by the rule of law. We debate, we disagree, we protest, we do not commit. No grievance, political belief, or ideological cause can ever justify. There can be no celebrity in assassination.
Luigi Mangione has pled guilty to a federal stalking.
All right. Yeah, that was a pretty good word for word. I needed that. Hold on. What the hell? Why do I have this on here twice? I do have this on here twice. Where'd the other one go? Had the other guy reading it. Luigi going for the double jeopardy? Yeah, I mean, hold on. I gotta fix something real quick. Hey, okay, yeah, give it to me.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Oh yeah, Fox News posted this 2 days ago. The internet has found a resurfaced Abdul Al-Sayed campaign video, and the Blues Clues inspired pitch is getting roasted. Al-Sayed dances through a 1-minute parody while asking voters for their support, leaning hard into the childhood nostalgia and exaggerated moves.
Thanks, mailbox. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from. Oh, it looks like my ballot. Brought to me by my Secretary of State. And with it, I can participate in democracy. The first day that I can turn this in is June 25th, but it has to be postmarked by July 21st. Or I can drop it off up until Election Day, which is August 4th. Thanks, Secretary of State. Thanks, mailbox.
He's pretty good.
Here's the mail, and
that's a pretty good bit. Him and his Taylor dances are golden. I mean, it's like, yeah, like they're like, can you believe he imitated Steve? Yeah, and then like, you know, the quote tweet here is Donald Trump raped people. Yeah, like there's a pretty big difference here. We'll get back to that actually here in a second. But anyways.
Luigi Mangione pleads guilty to a murder whose motive is forever unknowable. Really, it's one of the great mysteries, like the pyramids, like how'd that happen? It's a really cut and dry case of he did it, let's move on and not talk about any of the leading.
Have we considered how the family feels of the guy that was the CEO, the very rich family? How'd that happen?
Up to it. Medical, healthcare. Who's even saying those words? Stop saying the word. In the court proceeding, Luigi talked about medical. Oh, would you look at the time? Go to commercial. Let's cut the segment.
Yeah.
Luigi Mangione. Listen, I had to hazard a guess as to why he did it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert, but like, the guy's name's Luigi, right? Like, that's what Italians do. Sorry, have you not seen The Godfather? Or Goodfellas.
Don't trust to tell you.
There's a lot of them. It's a joke. Calm down. It's a joke, guys. Great. Another meeting with HR. Cannot wait. Cannot fucking wait. I think what we should focus on here is that it's over. And never talk about it ever again. Ever.
Yeah. Luigi Mangione, guilty. We'll never have to talk about, you know, why he did it or, you know, anything about him ever again. He's just gonna go away. That's it. No, we didn't say anything significant, okay, guys? And if you hear it, he's just making stuff up. Anyways, back to the war that we're losing.
USS Abraham Lincoln, the American aircraft carrier deployed for Iran war, has been plagued by heightened stress levels and is running out of essentials pretty quickly. Now, a new report from New York Times has shed light on US Navy's unique problem, which goes back to the start of the West Asia War. According to report, as soon as the US launched the attack on Iran, Iranian missiles and kamikaze drones fell on U.S. Navy base in Bahrain, which damaged...
Yeah, remember, this is something that the U.S. military, their analysts, basically everybody that was expecting Iran to kind of fold immediately through decapitation strikes, did not see coming. They were like, there's no way they're going to attack the other Muslim countries in the area. They wouldn't do that. And lo and behold, they certainly fucking did. Not only did they attack the bases that are in the host countries, they also sent drones straight to the military people's hotel rooms. That was very frowned upon. Don't they know about the rules of international law and international order that the U.S. and Israel does not abide by? But they have to abide by it, okay? So they can't just go and blow up our base in Bahrain. Like, they can't blow up our main U.S. Navy base in Bahrain and cause so much damage that the U.S. has to send back, like, all of their soldiers. Like, why would you do that?
It heavily.
They're not playing by the rules.
The loss of key logistics hub resulted in several problems on carriers supporting operations against Iran, including on Abraham Lincoln's 5,000 sailors and their nearly 9-month deployment. Another carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, it also...
They attacked they blew up the bases, but didn't do nothing about the sex.
In the vicinity was faced with the same problem. Report further said that Iranian attack prompted the U.S. Navy to go back to the field desk to figure out an alternative, since Bahrain was one of the 2 ports where U.S. aircraft...
Oh, there's a hotel right there with the window missing. I wonder what happened. Somebody got their own personal 9/11, it seems.
Carriers in the region were moved so their crews can get some downtime.
Rapid renovation.
However, the port of Fujairah on the Gulf of Oman was also within the range of Iranian missiles. This was crucial since the carrier crew, which was flying strike missions and later maintaining a blockade of Iran's ports, needed to be resupplied with basic essentials like food. Subsequently,
doesn't Iran know that we need this base in Bahrain so that our soldiers, our sailors, can get off the ship and go like enjoy some time in on the ground in the Middle East? But no, I mean, also some food, logistics, that kind of stuff. How rude of them to destroy our base.
Looked to a base under British command on the island of Diego Garcia and its supply hub located south of the Maldives.
Also, if you ask the United, Pete Hegseth or anybody that's in charge, they're like, no, everything's fine. Everything's going exactly to plan.
And roughly 2,200 miles from where the 2 aircraft carrier strike groups have been deployed in the Gulf of Oman. The report said that following the supply-based relocation, Iran tried to target Diego Garcia with 2 long-range missiles. However, one of the Iranian missiles fell into the Indian Ocean, shot off its target, while another one was shot down by U.S. Navy
March
warship.
or April.
Now, as the war drags on, thousands of U.S. military members on Abraham Lincoln have spent more than 250 days at sea and are facing food shortages, broken plumbing, and exhaustion. 2 credible U.S. publications have also reported suicide attempts on the 5,000-person ship.
Ah, that's good.
Lincoln has been on deployment for almost 9 months, which is about 2 months longer than normal Navy deployment. They've been at sea for about 250 days, so they've been at sea without a port call for more than 6 months. Which is a pretty long time, obviously, before they get to see land or see anybody other than their crewmates on the ship. So it could be very monotonous, and that also takes a toll on people. Although their operations are relatively stressful because they are doing flight operations and they do get shot at periodically by the Iranians.
The Lincoln's replacement is the Pacific-based aircraft carrier USS George Washington, which has already begun its journey from Japan towards West Asia. Another carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, has been operating in West Asia for months since deploying from Norfolk on March 31.
Everything's fine, guys. Pete said everything was fine. Let's check in with Sal. What's going on with shipping? The U.S. Navy has a logistics problem, and it's getting worse.
On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping, why is logistics beating the U.S. Navy? I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So logistics is right up my alley. It's one of my topics I love to discuss. Been involved in both military and civilian logistics for a long time. And stories come out regarding the deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln up into the northern Arabian Sea. And we're going to talk about that. Now, you may remember a few months ago, we talked about a similar issue regarding USS Tripoli. I did a whole video talking about that issue and going in depth about it. However, situation has changed a bit, and I want to update it. Now, I should note that I love talking about this subject. I've done it quite a bit. The history of it in particularly is one that I find most fascinating. Did a video not too long ago. It's got some good pull on YouTube. Early U.S. logistics in the Pacific, 1941 to 1942. And then I joined Seth Paradin and John Parshall over on the Unauthorized History of the Pacific War podcast.
Please,
for two
tell us more.
Episodes. The first one, episode 545, talked about fast oilers and logistics in the Pacific War. We looked at the early phase of World War II for that. And then we did one on shipbuilding and fleet repair. And what's interesting, what's happening right now is the U.S. Navy is being challenged by the logistics situation to support a fleet out in the Pacific, and it's manifested itself in the stories that we saw earlier on USS Tripoli, but now we're seeing
Battleship
on
is so
USS
dull.
Abraham Lincoln. This is the Navy Times. Multiple USS Abraham Lincoln sailors have tried to go overboard amid
sunk our
extended
battleships
deployment. Family said. So this is more than just food. This is actually the mental well-being, and this goes to prolonged deployment on board ships. Now, U.S. military has been experiencing prolonged deployments, not just recently, but over the past 20 years. Talk to members of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Marines who have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan over extreme periods of time, and you'll hear this. The mental well-being of armed forces is important, and logistics plays a big role in that because it helps to
250
offset
days on a
the
boat,
deployment
suck,
issue. So
yeah.
we're going to look at that issue in a little bit in depth. So if you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. So the acting secretary of the Navy,
And like what Trump's response to that was like tough it out, basically. Like he like was it back here? Or was it it's in here somewhere.
Street will stay vessel. Says to
No, not nearly long enough.
Hey boss, we've been on this boat for a long time. Not nearly long enough, bitch.
Cow has put out a statement regarding this, and I want to read parts of it for you. Mission accomplished. Troop welfare, this is how we lead. The Lincoln is extended because the mission demanded.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Deployments are hard. Combat operations make them harder. War is hell, and normal routines are disrupted. One of the hardest aspects about warfighting, beyond knowingly placing our service members in harm's way, is that even with the best planning and communication, change and uncertainty will always be in play. Our success depends on how we adapt. Sailors and Marines are expected to dig deep, and they always do. Unfortunately, the media are trying to paint our warriors as victims. Not only is that dishonest, but it takes away the focus
media
on the
that's
enemy
the
and the
problem.
threat it poses against our nation.
He doesn't want our active military home in case they pull a Roman
So Hunkel
collapse on
throws
him.
out some stats here that are important. 266 days deployed, 200 days in a combat zone, 10,000 sorties. I mean, just think about that for a second. 10,000 sorties. If you're 200 days in a combat zone, that's at least 50 flights a day you're doing off an aircraft carrier. 1.5 million pounds of ordnance dropped.
1.5 million
Retention
pounds,
rates
is that
on the
all?
Abraham Lincoln are amongst the highest on the carriers. Well, we'll see what happens when the ship gets back. That's always an issue to see. A small number of mental health cases were treated with no loss of life. I don't think you minimize this. I think it's very important to be open about this. Meal plans were adjusted when fresh resupply.
A small number of mental health cases were treated with no loss of life. Everything's fine.
It was unavailable without a single meal being missed. Call homes were limited when the operational threat was too high.
Everything's
He ends
fine,
with this.
guys.
There's no question our young men and women have been pushed to their limits, but they have never broken. They are rightly tired, but have never been out of the fight. However, it is clear, knowing the whole story, our force and their families are not victims. They are the epitome of American strength and resilience. So when the USS Abraham Lincoln pulls into the pier, join me and stand proudly with a grateful heart and give our sailors and Marine the heroes welcome they deserve. I don't doubt that for a second. I mean, I think the Abraham Lincoln, I think the Ford before them, the Bush now, and potentially the George Washington, which is deploying over to the area, all of them deserve it, along with the smoke.
When I mention this to pro-military folks, they genuinely don't feel bad. They just think, well, this is their job. Bro, they're human, man. These are human beings. These are also young human beings. Like, these are kids compared to a lot of adults. Like, these are people that are like in their early 20s, man. Like, this is fucking, like, you're torturing people. It's mental torture, mental anguish, man. Like, it's so annoying that we just write them off, and the same people that claim to be like for the troops and everything don't give a fuck about their fucking mental health. Like, they're the same people that see troops come back and be homeless in the fucking street, and they're like, oh well, you know, it's his fault for being on drugs. Like, fuck off, man.
Smaller vessels that are out there, the destroyers, the amphibious ready groups, the military sea lift command vessels, the expeditionary support bases, all of them deserve that. However, one of the problems here is the stat that Hung Kao gave you. 200 days in a combat zone. That's a long time. The U.S. military is geared for peacetime level of deployments and operations. When you go to wartime, and let's be clear, we're at war. This is a wartime operation that's
been at war for a while now.
When you're striking Iran, when you're doing blockade, that is wartime level of operations. And you cannot do that with peacetime level of support. You've got to ramp up more. And I think this is where logistics is beating the U.S. Navy. All right, let's break this down. First, we head over to the war zone, TWZ, not TMZ.
Had a hard convo with my coworker when he brings up the failures of the VA. I tell him it's not the VA's fault. It's literally the Republicans and Dems who continuously defund it. That's true. Yeah, well, stoking the fires of war. Yeah, exactly. Like, the U.S. economy is built off of war. Like, our major exports are like war related. like the U.S. military is like the biggest polluter in the entire world. Not just by like the catastrophes that are caused, but also by like the fuel that's used and everything, right? So like, we're funding the fuck out of the military. We're spending tons of money on it. And then these people go and risk their lives, or they have their lives taken from them, and like the fucking like the people back home don't give a fuck about them, man. Like, people just like, the VA sucks. These soldiers don't get enough help, man. They don't get enough benefits at all, especially for somebody that's given a lot. Like, and then, like, you know, we're like, oh, well, the VA is good enough. Like, it's free healthcare for them. This shit sucks. It's been defunded. Like, you don't get good care. And if you got good care, like, the U.S. soldiers being one of the highest groups of, like, you know, unaliving themselves, like, wouldn't be a thing. It was a Rainbow. Yeah, vets hate it and blame the VA, but not the Republicans. Yeah, because, you know, it's a scapegoat. It's again, you know, it's one of those things that Republicans like will defund and then say this is the problem, instead of them being the problem, that they're the ones that defunded it. Yeah. Some vets come back and they realize what's going on, and they're like, this shit sucks. I got screwed over. I wasted my whole time. I got an injury that I now need lifetime care for, and I get minimum coverage from it, from the fucking healthcare that's supposed to be provided for me. It's total bullshit.
That's a whole different genre there. TWZ has this from our good buddy Ian Ellis Jones, where he does a kind of drop down of where ships are, specifically the amphibious ready groups and the aircraft carriers. You'll note here in the Indian Ocean, 2 ready deployed aircraft carriers, the Lincoln and the George H.W. Bush, along with the USS Boxer.
Send them all!
Tripoli has pulled out. They are back up in Japan. The George
What if we just send all the aircraft carriers?
Getting ready to deploy into the Indian Ocean to relieve the Lincoln. On the east coast of the United States, you have the Eisenhower.
Why can't we just surround Iran with all of the aircraft carriers, then we win? Huh? I'm using the old noodle here.
That are in port, and on the West Coast you have the Carl Vinson and the Theodore Roosevelt, and then in maintenance
what's this video
is
about?
the
Logistics?
Reagan, the Ford, the Stennis, and the Truman. Stennis and Truman are in those deep maintenance periods. You're not going to see them anytime soon. Ford is just coming back from its deployment. It's going to need time.
You mean we got to feed these guys?
Refurbish before it can head out. But going a little bit more granular here, we come over to the USNI, U.S. Naval Institute's Fleet and Marine Tracker as of August 10th, 2026. And this is the number that always gets me. The number of deployed versus the total battle force. Out of 289 vessels in the battle force, over a third are deployed, of which 63 are underway. So rule of thumb with combatant vessels, ships of the U.S. Navy, is for every one forward, you need two back. Basically, one is preparing to go out, one is deployed, one is back undergoing maintenance and repair. And ideally, you actually want 4 doing that. One ready to go, one deployed, one coming back, and one in deep maintenance so that you can keep it. That's normal peacetime. When you go to war and all of a sudden you have to surge more forces forward, you need to pull more ships. And when you're operating at wartime levels, that throws out the window the 1/3 because carriers, warships are operating at a much higher tempo. You're burning through your personnel. You're burning through equipment. You're not doing the preventive maintenance that you typically need to do. And your ship is just getting
burnout. Like you're burning people out by having them out in the middle of the fucking ocean with nothing else to do but fucking like play cards and talk to each other and whatever else
down
is going
at
on.
a faster and faster level. And that's the problem here. If we're keeping a normal peacetime level of 1/3 forward,
you can only do that for so long, though.
Capacity to cover a deployment like what we're seeing right now in the Northern Arabian Sea. So if you start looking at the number of ships deployed, it starts growing pretty quick. You have USS Gonzales that's out in the Red Sea. You have the Lincoln, which is Strike Group 3, is deployed along with USS Frankie Peterson, which is its air defense commander. You have Strike Group 10, built around USS George H.W. Bush. It has with it USS Princeton, Donald Cook, and the Ross. For air protection, you have the Boxer Amphibious Ready Group carrying the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. That includes the Comstock and the Portland. And then we have a slew of vessels that are deployed independently.
This is the other thing, right? Is like, these aircraft carriers are surrounded by like an entire strike package of ships. Like other ships that are much smaller than the aircraft carrier. So if you think the people on the aircraft carrier are going bananas, like just imagine what you were going through on a smaller ship that maybe has more room to navigate, in and out, but still.
Here you see a grand total of 7 destroyers: Michael Murphy, Joe Finn, Delbert D. Black, McFall, Mason, Higgins, John Paul Jones, all on separate deployments. Add to it, we have at least 4 others in the region: the Mustin, the Milius, the Raphael, Perlata, and the Spruance. Now that gives you nearly 24 warships operating up in the Northern Arabian Sea region, which are going to need constant refueling, resupply, and basically provisioning. And normally what we have done since World War II was operate close to forward bases that could do that, so that when we go to Korea in 1950s, you have Japan. When we go to Vietnam in the 60s and 70s, you have the Philippines. When we go into the Persian Gulf and up into Kuwait and Iraq in the 1990s, you got Bahrain and the UAE. When we go into Afghanistan and Iraq in the 2000s, same thing. Bahrain, UAE, Oman, you have short staging bases.
An important base here.
The conflict against Iran changed everything. The U.S. lost its bases in the Middle East. It lost Bahrain. It lost all the bases in the central Persian Gulf region, meaning the U.S. had to shift to bases outside. And literally, only secure base it has in the region is down in the central Indian Ocean at Diego Garcia. There are others. Djibouti on the Horn of Africa, but that's very close to the Houthis. There are some bases in Oman at Salalah and Duqm that they could use, but it's very difficult to provide logistics for this. And as
you have to remember now, whenever the U.S. is going to use a base like that is that close to Iran, they're going to start launching fucking missiles and fucking drones at it. Like, something that, everyone said that they wouldn't do, or they didn't think they were going to do it, but they did it anyway, and now bad times ahead.
keep the fleet forward supplied here, you've either got to send U.S. military Sea Lift Command ships up into the area or send U.S. Navy ships back down to bases.
They're not playing by the rules
from
we
the
don't play by either.
So every year, Raytheon, RTX now, puts out this poster. I get them every year. This is the 2026 ships and submarines of the U.S. Navy. So if you want to know, aircraft carriers, destroyers, cruisers, submarines, amphibious vessels, they're all here. What's not on here are auxiliary ships. There are two. There's two submarine tenders on there, but that's because they have U.S. Navy captains on them, even though they have civilian crews on them. But what's missing from this mix, which I think is very important, is all the vessels that sustain that fleet. For that, you have to go over to the U.S. Military Sea Lift Command's webpage, and you get this chart that shows all the auxiliary vessels that sustain the combat fleet, and particularly the ships there in the left column. That is the Combat Logistics Force. So I mentioned in the 1990s is when this problem emerged. So at the end of the Cold War, the U.S. Navy was riding high. 600-ship Navy, 15 aircraft carriers, 4 battleship strike groups. I mean, the U.S. Navy was at its zenith since World War II in terms of its fighting force. But with the demise of the Soviet Union, with the peace dividend at hand, and, the end of history, there was no conceivable threat on the horizon. And this is where I would argue that the leadership in the U.S. Navy and in the U.S. government failed. Because, unfortunately, you have to be planning 20, 30 years ahead for a Navy to be viable. You have to keep the infrastructure in place to sustain it. And unfortunately, what we did in the 90s and early 2000s was absolutely gutted. We went from building 6 nuclear submarines a year down to 1, but more importantly, the logistics fleet changed. It used to be the U.S. Navy, the USS ships, were the combat logistics ships attached to the battle group. So you had Navy crews on board auxiliary vessels, and those were the ships that were providing the direct support to the U.S. Navy. Behind them were the military Sea Lift Command ships. These were the ships with the civilian crews. And these were known as shuttle ships. They would shuttle from bases up to the fleet. They would transfer over food, fuel, and ammunition over to the station ships. These were the USS ships. And then those USS ships would sail with the fleet. They had defenses on board the ships, and they looked like Navy combatants. And that was the way the system had worked. It worked all the way well in World War II, I might add. It worked well in Korea. It worked even in Vietnam. But in the 1990s, the bean counters saw an opportunity here to get rid and slash the U.S. fleet of auxiliary vessels. They removed the U.S. Navy crews. They replaced them with civilian crews because there was an idea that this would save money. But more importantly, they could privatize the industry. Longer. Yes. They didn't have to worry about being at sea for more than 6 months out of the year. And so they basically gutted the U.S. auxiliary fleet, and they morphed the station fleet that was supposed to be with the combatants and the shuttle.
Fantastic. We got to cut the fat, guys. Can't have these fucking auxiliary ships just doing whatever, man. Wait, what's playing? Is my music playing? It is. Gonna have to cut that fat too. Sorry, guys.
Shuttle fleet that was supposed to run between bases and the station ships and morphed them all into one. And every auxiliary vessel went to the U.S. Navy's Military Sea Lift Command with civilian crews on board. Not a problem. However, what this means is we lack sufficient ships to sustain the U.S. Navy unless we're really close to bases, which had been a problem because that's what we've been doing.
Because we got a shitload of bases, almost 900 of them.
In is a situation where the U.S. Navy has lost its bases in the Persian Gulf and in the region, and now they're relying on a fleet of vessels that now have to shuttle, and that fleet isn't as big as people think it is. So I take you over to the handbook for the Military Sea Lift Command. This is the number of ships that are active in 2026. So when we look at oilers, these are the ships that carry fuel out to the ships. They have some limited provision capability to carry stores, food, and supplies. Not that much, however. The number here is extremely limited. 11 of the Kaiser-class oilers are left. However, some of them are beginning to phase out the fleet. So we're already seeing that fleet decline. In terms of the new ships, the John Lewis's class, John Lewis is deployed out into the Indian Ocean. The Earl Warren is out in Japan. However, the other ships, the Peters.
So what does it carry here? Barrels of fuel. More barrels of fuel. Dry cargo. 128 pallets of refrigerated goods. These are government owned. Okay, so this is the column on the left. Column on the right. less fuel, and what looks like less cargo. Oh no, more cargo. Okay, yeah, and more. I would assume 128 pallets of refrigerated goods is not a lot.
The Kennedy, the Stone, and then the newest one, Sojourner Truth, are still working up. So only 2 of the new oilers are available. When we look at the ability to move dry goods, food, and ammunition, there are only 14 Lewis and Clark class dry cargo ammunition ships. However, 2 of the ships, the 2 lead ships, are not in that fleet. They're actually set aside for the afloat pre-positioning program, so they're unavailable. That leaves a total of 12, and you'll see that
do this, dude. They put different measurements of the same thing, so you don't know what the fuck to compare it to. Like this one's 7,700 tons of dry cargo. What was the one before that? Square feet of dry cargo. You motherfuckers. Like they did the same thing whenever they were doing shipments into Gaza off of the Gaza pier, the temporary pier. They changed it like in the middle of the operation, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're no longer counting the truckloads. We're counting it by square feet or whatever the fuck it was." Like it turned out to be like 30 days worth of like 17 trucks, which like you can do 250 trucks into Gaza in a day.
And then of the 4 combat support ships, 2 are laid up for God knows what reason. I don't know why the bridge and the Rainier are not operating. Go ask the U.S. Navy that, because it's stupid that they're sitting laid up in Bremerton, Washington. Just idiotic. But there are 2 of them, Supply and Arctic, one of which Arctic is out there. So this is
how dare you criticize our Navy? So
of peace, you can go ahead and supply yourself with it. But in time of war, it gets to be more difficult. So if you go watch my earlier video on early U.S. logistics, or go watch my appearance on Unauthorized History of the Pacific War, one of the things I talk about is in 1941-42, the U.S. was doing logistics on a shoestring. I mean, a shoestring of an operation. It's not until late 1942 that there's any sort of buffer in it. It was very precarious. I mean, at times down to single ships providing the necessary logistics to do it. Now, that changes demonstrably in World War II. This image shows you the operation for Iwo Jima in February and March of 1942, when the U.S. fleet set sail from Ulithi for a series of strikes on Okinawa, the Japanese home islands, as they prepared for the invasion of Iwo Jima. And they set out a massive fleet of underway replenishment vessels to service what was then Task Force 58, which is the fast striking carriers of the U.S. Fifth Fleet, which at that time was under Admiral Halsey and Vice Admiral Mitcher. And you see here on this chart that almost every other day, ships are refueling, they're replenishing, they're getting supplies to keep them up at sea. This is a chart for the Okinawa campaign that shows you the number of ships that are set aside. These are just oilers that are put together into replenishment groups, into shuttle ships, into reserve status, so that they could move fuel between the Ulithi anchorage, where there was a fleet of commercial ships bringing the oil forward. There was a long kind of line of ships coming from the west coast of the United States out to the forward anchorages at Ulithi, Wetak, Guam, Palau, you name it. They were bringing forward food and fuel in commercial hulls. They would meet up with the U.S. Navy vessels there, transfer the cargo, and then those U.S. auxiliary vessels, these were the station ships, would run up and go provide the sustainment. Now what we have, again, is we don't have shuttle ships, we don't have station ships, we just got one. And now the same ship that provides the source to the fleet has to do the same out in the ocean. And I'll give you the example here. So let's come over to marine traffic. This shows you active ships in the Indian Ocean right now, commercial ships. Now, U.S. military ships do not squawk on AIS unless they are in tight transit positions. Now, if ships enter and exit ports, they will pop up. Now, I'm going to use a couple of features here on this to show you what I mean. So I'm going to remove all these ships, and I'm going to show you underway replenishment ships. Now, military Sea Lift Command vessels, when they enter this region, turn off their AIS. And so what you do is you see them enter the region, but you don't see them anywhere else. So for example, out here over in Mombasa, we have 2 ships, the USNS Arctic, which is a supply class fast combat ship, and the USNS John Lenthal.
Yeah, imagine if Iran took out the supply ships.
At some point. These are old AIS readings on here. If you look at Arctic, for example, the last time it squawked was July 1st. So it's over, a month old. But here you see a line of ships coming in through the Straits of Malacca heading in. And these are Cesar Chavez, Walter Schirra, USNS Alan Shepard. Those are 3 of those TAKEs. Those are the store ships. Here's Carl Brashear. She's coming out at the time. Here is Henry J. Kaiser coming in down in Singapore, at the base down in Singapore, in the shipyard down there. You'll see 3 MSC oilers down there, Yukon, Rappahannock, and this is John Lewis. John Lewis is one of them that are out there in the Indian Ocean. But what you'll see is you've got a grand total of maybe 2 oilers, a combat store ship, which is the Arctic, which is part oiler, part store ship, and then you have 3 combat store ships out there. All of these ships have to provide the replenishment for the vessels up here in the northern Arabian Sea. And that means they either have to carry all their food, perishable food from when they initially loaded, either in Singapore, Korea, Japan, or the Philippines, or Africa here out. Now, they may be stopping at other ports in this region. Again, AIS is dark in this region for a good reason. You don't want to give any information to the Iranians. But they're definitely running in this region. And so you have it. The only other base the United States has is down here at Diego Garcia. And this is why Diego Garcia,
which is where we're retreating to, basically.
Group of ships here. And these are cargo ships that are under charter to the U.S. government. And now you see some more here. So, for example, you get a ship like the Overseas Santorini, which is a TSP, a Tanker Security Program vessel. It is coming out of the region, the Allied Pacific, which is up in the Maldives. And then you have ships like the SLNC Star, which is a chartered container ship. This ship does a shuttle run down to Diego Garcia from Singapore. So it is specifically under charter to the U.S. to bring logistics to this region. And then behind it comes Everglades Trader. That is a tanker. This is one of the commercial tankers that is used to provide shuttle service to them. Over here, you see the Overseas Mykonos, which is another one of those vessels, and CS Anthem, which was actually one of the ships that was stuck in the Persian Gulf for a protracted period of time. When you throw U.S. commercial ships on here, this is U.S. flag vessels onto this, you can see U.S. ships operating in the area. A lot of Maersk Line's vessels operating in the area. You have some Liberty and Ark. Those are commercial vessels that are moving through the area. A lot of them are roll-on, roll-off ships. You have some chartered ships, Ocean Giant, for example, sitting out here in Diego Garcia. You have logistics being done. It's not like they are not trying to supply the fleet out there. I want to be clear about this. A lot of people are talking about like nothing is being done to sustain the Lincoln and the carriers out there. There is a massive amount being done. I mean, I don't think you realize the amount of work the Department of Defense, Logistics, Military Sealift Command, the Defense Logistics Agency put into this. It is massive to be able to sustain this. If you've been on a cruise ship, okay, get that out of your head, because a cruise ship pulls into port every other day. I was just on one that did 11-day cruise. We pulled into Belfast, and for that day, they loaded 23 full tractor trailers worth of food that was enough to provision the ships for the 11 days. And plus, when they pulled in the port,
more food in one day on a cruise ship than the entire than the U.S. military was able to get into Gaza through the temporary Gaza pier.
Port every other day. They
one
would stop
fucking
and
day
pull
on a
in
cruise ship.
whatever
That's
consumables
crazy.
they needed, milk or fresh vegetables or something like that. They were able to do it. It is a elaborate system. The problem you have is with the loss of bases in this region. If you are using your logistics ships to pull supplies from Korea, Japan, the Philippines, or Singapore, by the time you embark them on the ship, the shelf life is wearing out. And by the time you get out up into the northern Arabian Sea, around Diego Garcia, you're already starting to expel it. And even if you build up the warehouse spaces down here at Diego Garcia...
We wasted so much money to accomplish what? To save face, I guess. That's all it was for, right? It was a save face campaign. And then Israel used the pier for that attack. Remember when they killed a bunch of people and also killed their own hostages? Yeah, you know, that's what we're spending our tax money for, brother. Hell yeah.
Been to Diego Garcia, I can tell you they're limited the amount of warehouse space, especially refrigerated warehouse space you have. You are already, have an issue about how to get there because you've got to commit ships to it. Diego Garcia is not on the normal shipping routes. for anyone. You can use ports along the coast of Africa, along the Middle East, India, Pakistan, but you got to get host nation support to do that. You got to be able to bring in your military Sea Lift Command vessels. Countries like Oman are not very friendly about doing that at times. And if Oman does...
So Iran they screwed us up, man. They're like, yeah, you're actually not going to be able to operate in the Persian Sea over here. We're going to shut that shit down. As a matter of fact, we're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. So get the fuck out. You're not going to be able to freely move in to like Bahrain and Doha and all that. Like that fucked everything up. And then they started bombing the bases. They started bombing the bases first, and then they closed the Strait of Hormuz. This did not go the way Trump expected it to. I don't see how this administration or like anybody that's aligned in the military, how they could not have predicted this, but yet they walked fucking straight into it. Like the fucking like the Simpsons, where the fucking guy like walks into the fucking rakes and they hit him in the face every fucking time. Like no matter which way he turns, like this is exactly what's going on here.
Doesn't allow you to do that. That forces you to pull out further. This is what I mean why logistics is doing this. When you compare this distance,
Bob, yeah.
If you compare this level of logistics to the chart I showed you coming out, here is basically Guam, Ulithi is right here. You can see how the distance is so much shorter in the Pacific than what we're talking about here in the northern Arabian Sea. The phrase that is used is tyranny of distance. And the tyranny of distance is tough. It's extremely tough. Now, what do you do to mitigate this? Well, a couple of things. Number one, to assist in the fuel distribution, back in 2015, Military Sea Lift Command resumed the operation of using commercial tankers to go out to sea, meet up with Military Sea Lift Command oilers, and conduct what they call a consolidation operation. You can't do that with commercial ships and the store vessels. We used to be able to. We used to keep down in Diego Garcia a prepositioned fleet that had vessels that could do that, but the problem is we got rid of them because we phased down the afloat prepositioning force. So the ships, which were old, what are called Styx freighters, these were the Cape J's from the Ready Reserve Force. They were used so that you can move cargo over to the AKEs, and then those commercial vessels can go to port, reload up, and bring it back.
Costs too much money
because it was too expensive. Because hey, we're not going to need it. Because hey, war is a thing of the past. And that's coming back to bite us in the ass, as it usually does, because logistics is the bottom end of all funding in the U.S. military. Because nobody gives a crap about it because, hey, it's not as sexy as warriors.
You know what? We need to, take money out of this, out of the logistics of the U.S. military. And what if we just gave, a few more $1 billion to Israel? And also Elon. Like Elon, big genius, doing whatever he's doing down South Texas. Needs to build another starbase or whatever the fuck it's called, bigger starbase, some more AI data centers, all that stuff. Let's give the money to those guys.
And technology of warfighting, it just isn't. And so what happens is you start having issues with food on ships. The other issue here is having enough vessels to do it. If you have 2 carriers operating in the Northern Arabian Sea, that's not enough. You need at least 3 to 4 carriers to be able to pull one back and have a day down, not the least of which you need to give that crew a day off. Every day on a ship is Groundhog Day. It's the same friggin' day every day. It doesn't matter what day it is. It's a Monday. It doesn't matter because you're working 24/7. It doesn't matter. And if you work at that pace and that level for a long, protracted period of time, you're going to get sloppy. You're going to start losing your mental edge. And that's the problem you're seeing there. They're conducting war level operations, blockade, with just 2 carriers. You got to be sharp, baby. 3 or 4 out there to do this. Same thing with the amphibious vessels. Same thing with the destroyers out there. For every destroyer you got on the picket line, you need about 2 back rotating, one heading up, one coming back. To do this, to give the crews, listen, you can ask crews to do extended periods. Hey, suck it up, Buttercup. You're going to do it. But don't expect it to be the same level as before. It's going to degrade. And this is a big problem. We need to be looking at the tyranny of distance. Because let me be clear, this is a massive tyranny of distance. If you want a worse tyranny of distance, go look at the friggin' Pacific and start thinking about an operation off the coast of China on the first island chain. And then you start realizing that tyranny of distance sucks. And it took the United States from 1941 until 1944 to have it figured out. And that was with pre-war ramped up building that started as early as 1937. And you don't get this overnight. And that is the lesson that's being lost right now, I think. We're not talking enough about the issue of logistics and what this is doing. The mental health, the issue of the crew is paramount. Good God, get them off the boat. I can't tell you what it means to walk off a ship. If you've been stuck on a ship for a long period of time, did 11 months on a ship, I know this. Get off a ship. It's the best feeling in the world. I don't care if it's a nasty dock somewhere. Just get the hell off the ship. And you got to get them off for a period of time. You got to give them leave. You got to do something just to get off the boat. And that is something that needs to be focused. There are very smart people in the military. I don't buy the fact.
Yeah. I mean, just like 2 days ago, right? They brought up the story that the guy jumped off the aircraft carrier. Immediately the next day, Keg's Breath was like, nah, everything's fine, actually. Like, everything's going great. Everything's just going to plan. Like, you guys don't respect the military. You're not giving them a fucking day off, man.
That people sit there and say there's not smart people. You just got to listen to them. There are people saying what I'm saying throughout the military. I guarantee you that. I am not freaking smart. I'm not. I'm telling you, this is common sense bullshit right here. The problem is logistics
common
people
sense
don't get
ain't all
heard
that common.
over war fighters. And they only get heard when things fall apart. When someone doesn't get their spam, when someone doesn't get their bombs, when someone doesn't get their toilet paper, people start taking notice. And then it's all logistics and supply chain. And that's what this channel is all about. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you
Fantastic
can,
work.
support the page. How do you do?
Up on my stream on the YouTube. No data. The stream live over here. Okay, it's back. Never mind. That's weird. Anyways, back to this guy.
I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. So I just say.
Yeah, this is Bush 2.0 with MAGA branding. They're all Israel first. Yeah, remember why you're paying more. They harvested your data like that? Man, those motherfuckers. I'm watching the live stream. Actually, I have like three things where I watch the live stream on. There's some production value going on here. Yeah. What else did he say?
Beautiful, but what the hell? These gorgeous, beautiful girls. They
what?
No, these young, beautiful girls. These young, beautiful girls. These young, beautiful girls in the White House. You know, they come in. Now, I'm not supposed to say beautiful, but what the hell? These young.
He can't stop being pedo-coded. Yes, this is true.
Girls, they want to be safe, and they come. Mr. President, may I speak to you? Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I said, why are you thanking me? Because a year and a half ago, I was afraid to leave. I was afraid to open the door of my apartment, and now I walk to the White House every morning, and I have absolutely no fear. Thank you, sir. No, these young, beautiful girls. These young, beautiful.
Yeah, again, oops. Found an event dude won't fall asleep at. That's crazy. Almost exposed all the DMs, guys. I can't show y'all's DMs to everybody. But
surrounded by hundreds of dark forms.
Oh, yeah.
How many hours a night do you sleep? Every night when I close my eyes, I'm surrounded by hundreds of dark forms who drag me out of my bed and into their fires, sometimes for 16, 17 hours.
That's bad.
Really? How many hours do you sleep?
I don't sleep anymore. Actually, one of the biggest life changes I've made is something we refer to as intermittent dying.
Intermittent dying?
Yes. So instead of sleeping each night, I take one of these capsules and I die 4 or 5 times throughout the day. I wake up feeling more refreshed, energized.
And dying safe?
Yes. How many hours a night?
4 to 5 times a day. The assassination photo and that photo looking at kids will be his legacy for term 2. That's, yeah. Chat, have we tried just doing this? I don't know. I don't know if this is real. I trust Jim Haggerty. Trug the mod bot?
Racist meme, like, conspiracy.
Yeah, speaking of like old grandpa shit.
Oh, what's this? A video of a barely clothed OnlyFans model. I'm gonna like this publicly. Oh, look, a random girl just living her life and minding her business. Yeah, I'm gonna comment something creepy. I'm married, by the way. Racist meme, like, conspiracy theory, like, oh, racist conspiracy theory.
That's going on the story.
Huh, a video about how the healthcare system's broken. Yeah, I'm gonna like this too, because I'm weirdly cool about some things. Man is large and contains multitudes. Oh, what's this? A video of a barely clothed OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, you know, broken clock, right? Broken clock. Yeah, what else? What else I got?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How business guy reacts to money.
Well, I'm loving this. This is great. Everything about this I'm into. You know? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ones are good. I much prefer like
pretty
hundreds. Nice.
One-dimensional here.
That's better. I like those. I like those more. But and this part is he should bend it. This is the bend part's my favorite.
I like the comment here. Would you rather have 100 ones or 100? Makes you think.
So I don't see any. Oh, money's in the bag. Got it. Okay. I like that. I didn't know. I didn't know if. Yeah. No, then I like it even more. Right?
Thinking hard on that one.
So this I'm not much of a fan of. They're burning the money.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I feel like he's sad on that.
Not a fan of that. Let's go back to the. Great.
Like a little baby with keys.
Awesome.
Oh, fantastic work. Yeah. Back here
doesn't exist. He talks about a little bit more.
Here, Medicare for all, Medicare for all, and no one questions it. Let's start questioning it.
Let's do it.
How much is it going to cost?
Yeah, burning money almost as bad as burning the flag. Yeah, that's true. I think it's interchangeable, honestly, for a lot of people.
It's going to cost upwards of $70 trillion over 10 years. On the high end, on the low end, you're talking about $30 trillion. So,
speaking of burning money, can you believe we want to give Medicare to everybody? It would cost so much money. Where are we going to get the money to pay for that? Al Sayed admits universal health care means paying a little bit more in taxes. It's insane. This money does not exist.
this is money that doesn't exist. He talks about a little bit more tax, and that's the tease of democratic socialism. We're going to give you away things.
Yeah, what are we,
but it's a
anarchists?
gotcha. The money's not there. You can't, even if you taxed every man, woman, and child in America, you still don't have the money.
So you even said, for example, the richest people, the Forbes 400.
Yes.
So they're the problem. The rich are the horrible people. So now they got to pay. What should they do?
So if they take the
even if we taxed all the rich people, all the billionaires, we still wouldn't have enough money, guys. Y'all don't get it, okay? People that have the majority of like the wealth in the United States, we can't take all their money because we can't even pay for what we want to pay for with that money. So it's pointless to take their money.
Taxes from, or if not even confiscate all the wealth from the Forbes 400. That's $6.6 trillion. That maybe funds this for 1 year. Now, if you go, all right, that's gone, that pot's gone, we've confiscated.
They're broke.
They're broke. We're going to corporate America. That's $30 trillion roughly. We take that. But here's the key. If you take it, you can't take it again if you confiscate all the wealth. And that's the math that just never maths.
And by the way,
the money just goes poof and disappears once it's put into the system. Nobody gets the money anymore. It just deletes. Like once we put the money into healthcare, it's gone. It deletes itself. Like it just like whoop. You multiply by 0.
The seniors with Medicare right now, they don't want everyone on Medicare. They get pushed to the back of the line. It's estimated they're going to lose 2 million jobs. Where are those jobs lost? Where are those jobs
They're lost everywhere throughout the economy, right? I mean, you're going to think it's going to impact low income Americans first, right? Because those are the low hanging fruit, unfortunately.
All the poor's gone. Poof, just deleted, just like the money. They're gone too.
So the promise is we're going to give you all, and it's actually going to take away from you.
So we get supplements. Most people, if they're in a private company like this one, you'll have money come out of your paycheck. Well, not anymore, not with Medicare. But you say it's going to be between $15,000 and $21,000
per taxpayer per year. And here's the thing: it's going to come out of your paycheck. Like you can't prevent that from happening.
Yeah, the money that you're getting paid, it's going to go poof, be gone, and then you're not going to get any more money. Poof, more money paid, because also that money that you would get paid with goes poof too. So all money gone, my job gone, all my bases, all my apes gone.
You saw it with the Democratic Socialist co-chair. She went from the target being on billionaires to millionaires. And they always tell you someone else is going to pay for it. But then that someone else ends up being you and me and everyone else.
And Lou, we all know someone on Medicare.
Yes.
And it's not enough. No. You usually need a supplement on top of
Correct.
that. And doctors aren't through with Medicare. They're not getting paid what they should be.
Not only is it not enough money, there's not enough doctors available to provide this care, right? Universal health care doesn't mean there's universal availability of drugs, of doctors, of appointments. Ask anyone from Canada.
Can you imagine if more people went to go see the doctor? Then you wouldn't. If more people went to go see the doctor, you wouldn't be able to see the doctor because the doctor's seeing other people. It's like when you're like going on a date. Like you can't just date everybody at the same time because then everybody's going to be busy and then there's going to be nobody for you to date. See? So it's see Conwell for the past 40 fucking years. All right, let's wrap this up.
Absolutely,
they're socialized medicine.
They hate it.
They come here.
Absolutely. So okay, we have the Paragon Institute.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Let me go back there.
They're not getting paid what
not
they should
only
be.
is it not enough money, there's not enough doctors available to
not enough
provide
doctors.
this care, right?
Death panels, forced labor, etc. They're going to have panels where they determine whether you got to live or die. Right now, they just they have like United Healthcare has people that approve or deny your claim, and then you die. So right now, it's just one guy. But now, you know, with this, they would have entire panels of people that would say, no, actually, denied, you die now.
Universal health care doesn't mean there's universal availability of drugs, of doctors, of appointments. Ask anyone from Canada how they love their socialized medicine.
They hate it.
They come here.
Yeah. Everybody in Canada hates their socialized healthcare. They come to the United States to get work done. They come to the United States so they could go just like drive through the United States and then go to Mexico and actually get the cheaper healthcare there because it's also, you know, it's also free. Or heavily discounted compared to what you would pay in the United States, actually.
Absolutely. So, okay, we have the Paragon Institute, the annual cost prediction is $4.39 trillion.
Right.
So they're saying, okay, so at least you're not paying for private insurance. This is going to be the total. That's going to be the payoff. Is it an equal swap?
It's not an equal swap. You're just moving the bill from the taxpayers from in your paycheck to someone else, and that someone else ends up coming back around to you. You can't make money appear out of nowhere. That's the problem with socialism. You have a pie, you cut it up in so many pieces, and that's it, and it's all gone. With capitalism, you actually can grow that pie.
And finally, look at the people with private insurance right now, 225 million.
The problem with socialism is eventually you run out of people's money. The benefits of capitalism is I take other people's money and I put it into my pocket and I never pull it back out. Yeah. And they never get that money back. But they just keep on giving me the money and I keep putting it in my pocket and my pockets get really big and then I float away.
How are they going to feel about giving that up?
Oh, it's gone. Forget it. They're going to hate it because now you're going to eliminate competition. You're going to the government becomes the end all be all for everything in healthcare. And show me one example of the government taking control of something and it got better.
Medicare for all.
Yeah, like, have you ever gotten your mail? No, you've never gotten your mail. That's right, because you don't get any fucking mail. All right. Have you ever driven on a road? No, that's right, because the government doesn't. They've never built the roads. Hey, like that. Huh? Have you ever like known what the weather was going to be like, maybe tomorrow or the day after that or like the next week or something? That would be insane. Those are witches, all right? Not the government funding programs. Fucking Is America chasing away all of its smart people?
Its
oh my god, I
people
can't watch this for
by the numbers alone.
No, I'm not gonna watch this for 20 minutes. Okay. Back to money stuff, actually, without watching how money works. Literal supervillain laughing at locals worried about their water supply.
Critics say that Tesla is stealing water from the region.
This region has so much water. Look around you. No, this is completely wrong. It's like water everywhere here. Does this seem like a desert to you? That's ridiculous.
What do you expect?
It rains a lot.
It rains a lot. Guys, it rains a lot, okay? But I'm against the wall. The richest man in the world, who happens to be, can't you guys be happy that the richest man in the world is African? All right? Why can't y'all be happy about something? He's the white South African. African nonetheless. Okay. Oh my god. What else is he up to? This is what we need AI data centers for. Oh my god.
Behave.
That doesn't even look good. Did you see his other AI video? No, this looks terrible, by the way. Oh my fucking god.
Autonomous, baby! Ah!
Why does he look more Asian in this? He does look like Yilong Ma. Yeah, he does actually. It is true. Yilong Ma does not look like him. He looks like Yilong Ma. His other AI videos cringe as fuck. Send it to me. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm in a white jacket. Here we go. Oh my god, can you believe these tax rates? United Kingdom, average tax rate, 45% of my money. Oh my god. Canada, 43.2% of my money. France, 55.4. What am I gonna take? What am I supposed to live off of? Spain, 54%. Denmark, 60%. Why do I even work?
Yeah.
Hold on, what was a little thingy? What do you think pays for the free healthcare?
Yeah, you're just lying. You said average tax rate for UK is 45%. Okay. 45 is for everyone that makes over 120.
Doesn't everyone make over 125,000 pounds? Isn't are we not all rich? I thought everybody here was part of the upper percentiles. No?
5,000 euros. Let's look at the average. Average annual salary, 32 to 39,000. That's not nowhere near 125,000. 43.2 for Canada. Okay. You can't even get that high. You can't even get that high. What the fuck are you talking about? 69,000 for Canada. That's the annual average. 69,000. 55.4 for France? Really? Nope. You can't get that high. You cannot get that high. 42 to 44,000 for France. Wow. 54% average tax rate for Spain. Okay. 45%. 47 for excess. Anything over 300,000 is 47%. What's the average? 29,000 to 31,000. Wow. In Denmark.
Hey, ask a NFL player how much they pay in taxes in the United States, and if they get free healthcare out of it, because they don't.
Oh, I love Denmark. They're social democrats. I fucking love them. 60.5%. Wrong again, lady. Wrong again. The average is 45,000 to 51,000. You're just fucking lying. Stop lying, dude. These numbers are easily Googleable.
Googleable, yeah.
That's a funny word. Anyone can look up these numbers.
Searchable.
Anyone. You're just lying, dude. What the fuck?
They're just making shit up, man. But the propaganda sticks to people's brains, and they're like, "Oh my god, I don't want to pay all these taxes. All my taxes do is I don't know what my taxes do. They just go to the poors, and the poors take all my money." Yes, please start another war that we cannot logistically support because we defunded the military a long time ago. While we're paying excess and exuberant amounts of money to military contractors. On the daily, by the way, right? Like that's like something you can look up on what is it, like the Department of War's website. I mean, like, yeah, hold on. What is it? Department of War military contracts for the day. Contracts for yesterday gave a cool $10 billion to M1 support services in Denton, Texas. Boeing, just a nice $636 million. That's nice. Modification brings the total cumulative face value of the contract to $1.1 billion. Airbus helicopters in Grand Prairie, Texas. We recently crashed one of their helicopters, I think. Crashed a helicopter, all right. $115 million. That's cool. Just be crazy if this information was just posted by the government publicly like every single day. I don't know. I don't fucking. Yeah, next time you guys get into an argument with somebody, just go to war.gov/news/contracts, all right? And read what fucking contracts we've awarded for the day. Okay? This is like easily accessible by anybody.
To people, and then they can bet on it. People, isn't he selling his Truth Social tweets to people, and then they can bet on it?
What?
I think, yeah.
You can bet on anything.
He's selling access.
Yeah, selling access.
To what? He's selling faster access to his tweets, and then you can bet on it.
Bet on what is
on
Tweets will
the
be?
markets because
wait a minute,
it's literally insider trading.
It's Kashi. You
Maybe
can bet
I'm
on
wrong, I
everything
don't
you
know.
can fix.
Yeah.
Wait a
You
minute,
fix your
is
own
that
bets.
real? You get access to a tweet before he makes it, and then you could bet on that tweet? How is that legal?
We'll see.
Wait a minute, what is this? Trump sued over Truth Social advance access sale.
And I'm online in the Oval Office.
Who's
Just so
telling
fit.
him this is a good idea? I feel like I need
Nobody's
to be closer
telling him
to
shit.
$1,000 contracts.
Yeah, it's $100,000. You can get his early
Yo,
tweets.
you know how crazy that is? $100,000 to get early tweets.
Hey, bet 200 on
That's
it.
literally
Yeah, it must
crazy.
piss you off so much when he tweets like
Truth Social's
the guy
parent
from Twilight's
company,
a bitch.
Trump Media, announced in July it would offer subscribers to Truth API who paid up to $100,000 each month. Oh my God! Not even just $100,000 a year. Each
Patreon?
month
He's raking it
for
in.
early access to market-moving posts from Trump and other people who use the platform.
Market
You
moving.
imagine you charge $1.2 million a year? He's just on a grab.
Oh, yeah.
And to get that, it's just people who are like,
But
yeah,
who?
we'll profit off that.
I just want to be in the meeting where they go, "I got an idea."
And everyone looks at each other and is like,
Let's do
should we
it.
tell them no?
They go, look, everyone hates us anyway.
$100,000.
Fuck it.
I bet it wasn't even Trump. It was probably some weasel who works in the administration. It's like, charge them $100,000 a month, and you post things, and they can move the market.
Yikes.
What are
It's just
we
another
doing?
form of the same shit.
Well, here's,
Isn't he selling?
Good God. I don't have Twitter, so I can't scroll far enough. Joe is so cucked. He's like, oh yeah, obviously this is not Trump. This has to be somebody else that's doing this. Must be some weasel guy. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. There's the logistics aren't there. I can't log into TikTok right now. I have to log into my other account or whatever. I don't know. And then the fucking website makes my computer run slow. I can't get on TikTok. That's why I don't watch TikTok videos, actually. Instagram does enough damage to my PC. I'll download it and send it via Instagram. Okay.
No radical transformations, just...
Oh, I was pre-watching.
Okay.
China is beating the U.S. by every metric. Fuck.
Yeah. Cough twice for me? Great. Okay, yep. Let's check in.
Primary season is almost over.
The 2026 midterm elections quickly approaching.
I keep saying it's the most important midterm in our lifetime.
New polling ahead of the midterm election shows Democrats are feeling highly motivated to get out and vote.
You might have noticed it's August, and midterm season is starting. Hundreds of politicians,
I did notice it was August because it was my birthday.
The bland are out on the campaign trail, shaking babies and kissing people they shouldn't. And one big question is looming over all of this. What's the point? I'm not talking about Trump messing with the election or whatever. That might get its own episode. Maybe. I'm talking about the promises.
Happy birthday, thank you.
I'm running for the Senate to make life easier today.
Comey will lower taxes, cut wasteful spending, and roll back costly regulations.
Hell yeah.
Watley will break the gridlock, cut taxes, and lower costs.
Yeah, cut those
Slashing
taxes.
regulations that hurt Alaskan energy and cutting reckless spending that drives up prices.
You know what I hate? Paying taxes. Because you know what I hate having? Roads. I hate roads. I wish there was only privately funded roads that took me straight to my job. Actually, there's just one road straight to work. That's it. Nobody else can be on it because nobody else works with me. Just one road straight to work, and then the road back. Actually, you know what? I don't even need a road back. I just live at work. What if they had like towns that were for the company, and like you could just live there and like just work all the time? Your own police force. Yeah, exactly. Like the company would hire the police force. You know what? I would be part of the police force part-time because I work for the company. Everything's what do we do? I don't know. Probably like if there's another company that's doing the same thing, we probably just go to war with them, I guess. Private military contractors, feudalism. You just go back to the feudal era. Yeah. Fuck it.
In the Senate,
I'll take on corruption and keep fighting to lower your
James Telefrico
costs.
This is about who's on your side, and I'm with you.
With very few exceptions, there is nothing in the program of Republicans or Democrats that is the least.
I just sent her a screen recording thing. Too long to download. You don't need to watch all of the cringe.
Bit enticing. The only.
All right, hold on. Let's watch this video before we get too far into this video. What is this? Oh my god.
When the whole world goes dark.
What is this?
When the whole world goes dark. Stand by me.
What is this? It's your birthday? It was my birthday. Yes, thank you. You posted this? This shit's hella cringe, man. What the fuck? It doesn't even look good. What is it supposed to be? Oh, how is he on Mars with the spacesuit mask open, but the plants are still in a greenhouse thing, and it's still red dirt everywhere? Like, he would fucking die. I'm gonna implode. It's so bad. It's so bad. No, and that's the least of the things, the least of the problems. All right. Yeah, we need all the data centers so we can make more of this shit.
Only things on the menu are either doing nothing about the ongoing horrors or the same tired and utterly pointless posturing like getting men out of women's sports.
Ooh.
There's absolutely zero ambition. No big ideas, no radical transformations, just the same things we've heard for 15 years, while one party speedruns societal collapse and the other one rolls over and helps them. So, what are we gonna do? Well, you might remember last year when Americans flocked to the Chinese app RedNote after Congress's TikTok ban.
Oh, I do vaguely remember
American
that.
Users are flocking to a different Chinese social media platform, making it the most downloaded app in the U.S. It's called RedNote.
The ban was designed to give American politicians and capitalists another way to control what people saw on social media, and it did the exact opposite.
I'm moving to China because what the fuck, America?
I'm thinking that this place is like North Korea. Like everybody's living in poverty, they're oppressed by their government.
I'm floored right now. I'm absolutely floored.
Oh my God.
We've forgotten about it now, but almost overnight, 500,000 Americans.
This country that I live in currently, that currently sucks, is just like one of those Asian countries that I've heard so much about. Obviously, that other country that I've heard so much about is the problem.
Got direct exposure to Chinese people, life, and culture without the sensationalist filter of the corporate media. And it turns out, that makes a difference. I know that because I don't need to tell you what China maxing is. You're in a very Chinese time in your life, I'm sure. You know the words to Yi Jianmei. You wear the Beijing bikini. You are ready for what's coming.
Tomorrow you are turning Chinese. And I know that sounds intimidating, but there is no point in fighting it now.
Like, Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a good chance you've at least heard of things like Speed's live stream tour of China, or Hassan's, or even with a more mainstream media diet, seen videos like these.
When I tell them how modern the cities are, people are shocked.
I like living in a giant industrialized futuristic city because I grew up living.
Hold on.
Diet. Seen videos like.
That's what this is supposed to be? Oh, fuck. They did one of the MVPs for Devil Dino in Marvel Rivals, and he jumps out of this. Like, he literally jumps out of, like, the frame and onto the ground.
Like these.
When I tell them how
I didn't
modern
know that's what
the
that was
cities
referencing.
are, people are shocked.
I like living in a giant industrialized futuristic city because I grew up in such a small town America.
Americans are, more than ever before, getting a lot of exposure to what China actually looks like. And I can't lie, it looks good. Like, just look at this. This isn't the most thorough political analysis you've ever heard, I know, but name any city in the US that looks like this. New York, maybe, I guess, but that feels like a real stretch. Vegas? We just don't have any places like this. And China has 4. They're China's Tier 1 cities, the 4 most developed, wealthiest, technologically advanced places in the country. And if 4 cities doesn't sound like a lot for a nation of 1.4 billion people, fair enough. I forgot to mention there are actually 15 more cities.
But can you imagine the crime that's going on there?
Look like this.
Imagine, if you will, a straw man that I could create for you to be scared of. Ooh, doesn't that sound scary? Scary China. Ooh.
Compare any of these places to what they looked like 30 years ago, and it barely makes sense. Where in the US have the last 30 years looked like this? And it's not just the general vibe of the cities and the pretty lights and how clean they are. It is everything that supports them. Now you can probably see where I'm going with this, but 26 years ago, China had 0 high-speed rail. Today, the country has over 30,000 miles, which is more than every other country in the world combined. That means that if you live in any Chinese city bigger than Mesa, Arizona, you're pretty much guaranteed to have access to all these other cities on a train from the future, and for as little as $13 a ticket. We don't have anything like that either. We have the Acela that costs $1 million and goes half as fast for all of like 30 miles. It lets you skip past Rhode Island and Massachusetts, which, if we had to have HSR anywhere, that was the right call. But that's just nothing like what China has proved is possible these days. And the most impressive thing is that a few years ago, no one believed in this. If you paid attention to politics in the 2000s and 2010s, you probably remember how common it was to see headlines about China's ghost towns. There were all these reports of huge cities sitting completely empty that supposedly proved that China was running around without any clue of what they were doing. They were building expensive trains to nowhere, connecting cities that no one lived in. Consider Pudong. Pudong was the poster child for the excesses and inefficiencies of China's semi-planned economy. Milton Friedman, the free market guy that got America on neoliberalism and invented the pencil, called it, quote, a statist monument for a dead pharaoh on the level of the pyramids. In jerk talk, that means a huge
no one lived in them then.
And yet,
what about now?
Forward a bit, and Pudong now has an occupancy rate of 99% and 4 times the population.
Yeah, that's not the way you're supposed to build housing. The way you're supposed to build housing is you plow down all the trees in a rural area. All right. Plow them all down. Never needed them. Bring in a contractor that's doing the same houses pretty much everywhere, like in 10 different areas in the city. Build these little, cookie cutter homes that are made out of like toothpicks and sheetrock. And yeah, you give all the money to these guys so they can build the houses. All right. You build this neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere outside the city. And don't improve the roads or anything because, you know, we don't care about traffic congestion because we don't want to pay taxes. All right. There's already roads that go out there. Okay. That's how you build. That's how you fucking build. Hell yeah. China making homes that no one lives in, but at what cost? I don't know. Is it $300,000 for their living situation? 'Cause that's what you're paying in the United States
of Manhattan.
for your entry
And
level
Pudong
home.
isn't alone. Kangbashi, Binhai, Tianjin, the Zhengdong New District. All of these places I'm definitely pronouncing right got the ghost town treatment. In 2013, 60 Minutes covered Zhengdong specifically like this.
He's showing us around the new eastern district of Zhengzhou in one of the most populated provinces in China. Not that
There's
you
nobody on the
know it.
roads.
We found what they call a ghost city of new towers with no residents, desolate condos, and vacant subdivisions.
They couldn't even get
Uninhabited for
anybody in
miles
there.
And miles and miles and miles of empty apartments.
Miles
Here it
upon
is now.
miles. That's AI. That's fake.
Over 1 million people, incredible infrastructure, public transit, and randomly, but importantly, 41 hospitals. Here's a crazy statistic to put this in
Hospitals?
context.
We're closing
90%
those.
of Chinese homes have been built in the last 30 years. And the most shocking part,
This is fucking
90% of people in
communism
China
for
outright
ants.
own their home. Compared to here, 65% and falling, even though it's supposed to be the most basic part of the American dream. The image of China that's in the collective imagination, with good economic indicators on paper, but a rundown backwater in practice, is just not matched by reality. China, of course, still entertains this idea to some degree. The country still calls itself a developing nation, as opposed to developed, because, quote, once you are advanced, you are declining. China isn't there yet. Still, today, I think most people think of China as a factory offering cheap labor and cheap stuff that breaks right away to the wealthiest countries. That hasn't been the reality for a while now. These days, China might be the most advanced place companies go for the most high-tech stuff. Take one example. In the EV market, there's the car manufacturer BYD. These electric cars are radically cheap and fantastic, and in just a few years, they've become the global leader in this market. You might be hearing about it for the first time if you live in the US, because thanks to our insane tariffs, we can't buy what even the New York Times calls the world's best electric car.
Why not?
The kicker is their least expensive model sells for 10 grand brand new. I'm a car guy.
That's
so
okay.
maybe
I don't
that
want
gets
to.
what I'm saying a little
No.
critically. But if not,
Give
here's
me a
Ford
$30,000
CEO Jim
Ford
Farley.
Focus.
It's the most humbling thing I've ever seen. 70% of all EVs in the world, electric vehicles, are made in China. They have far superior in-vehicle technology. And even beyond that, their cost, their quality of their vehicles is far superior to what I see in the West.
I drive the Xiaomi. We flew one from Shanghai to Chicago, and I've been driving it for 6 months now, and I don't want to give it up.
And if all that sounds crazy, wait until you hear about Chinese solar power.
In China, a years-long investment in renewable energy is beginning to pay off.
Since China started taking climate change more seriously in the early 2000s, and especially since 2020, government subsidies to the solar panel industry have created what even the Financial Times can admit are rock-bottom prices. Production is so thoroughly developed, the
What if we
battery and
just
power
tariff
conversion
those
tech
so
has
we can't
improved
have
so
them?
much thanks to China's investments in R&D that now we have a solar panel overcapacity. The world literally cannot absorb it. Not to put too fine a point on it, but what the fuck have we been doing? And China was able to get there for the very modest sum of $18 billion in state money. We just spent twice that on losing the Iran war. And it's not just electric cars and solar power. Consumer goods like DJI's microphones and drones and cameras are world class, Huawei's phones are incredible. Even iPhones, they're designed in the US. But here's Tim Cook.
There's a confusion about China that, and let me at least give you my opinion. The popular conception is that companies come to China because of low labor cost. I'm not sure
not anymore
what part of China they go to, but the truth is China stopped being the low labor cost country many years ago. And that is not the reason to come to China from a supply point of view. The reason is because of the skill and the quantity of skill in one location and the type of skill it is. Like the products we do require really advanced tooling. And the precision that you have to have in tooling and working with the materials that we do are state of the art. And the tooling skill is very deep here. You know, in the US, you could have a meeting of tooling engineers and I'm not sure we could fill the room. In China, you could fill multiple football fields.
Meanwhile, at least on the tech side of things, our leaders have staked our future on email writing software and chatbots that nobody wants. These kinds of things are little treats that are pretty cool, and you'd expect the richest country in the world to be on the front lines of that stuff. And we're not.
Our treats aren't even that good.
The last thing the US could point to and say, look, we're the best at this. Not anymore. And I get that it's not strictly necessary. Nobody needs super advanced mics and phones to live. But all this is happening in a country that's also done the most to make basic life necessities accessible to the greatest number of people. China's track record is 800 million people being lifted out of poverty in 40 years. It's a country that, no, isn't perfect in matters of healthcare, but people there don't automatically lose coverage when they lose their job. There's no such thing as medical bankruptcy in China. Meanwhile, we're paying $2,000 out of pocket every month on health insurance. China is also a country where education is, for the most part, incredibly affordable and doesn't become this lifelong debt trap. And last year, China's real estate boom ended. Prices dropped, the market suddenly became a much smaller part of the country's economy. But did China have a 2008 moment like every major outlet predicted they would? No. They rode it out without a dramatic crisis like we had here. They knew it was coming, and they planned for it. Imagine that, your government having a little foresight. Speaking of treats, I've been cooking up a little something for you these last few months. But, as always, I want to respect your time. If you're not interested in hearing about my new project, you can skip ahead to this timestamp.
Skip ahead.
Always come back later if you want.
Talk about it forever.
And I hope you're excited to check it out. All right.
I don't know what it was, actually. So
of the club, make sure to subscribe on our website, linked in the description. By
what?
Three posts.
Socialism, I don't know.
I hope you're excited to check it out. All right, back to the show. Now, none of this is to say that China is some kind of utopia. This video could have been about a ton of other countries that have us beat, and we'd say the same thing. For example, China has a higher youth unemployment rate than we do. It's about on par with the EU, but they're also going in much the same direction as places like the US and the UK on things like free speech and digital freedoms. They too have old-ass leaders who won't leave office. And even though China's done a lot to develop its renewables, they've also put a lot of coal power online. I'm not trying to hide any of that from you. At the end of the day, they have problems just like every other country. What sets China
They're automating
apart
away
is that
jobs in China? Shit. And they have Chinese. That's a good point, Daphne. You know, I saw a meme the other day, and it was a conversation between boyfriend and girlfriend. And the boyfriend's like, or the girlfriend, whoever it was, is like, what should we have for dinner? And the other one's like, let's get Chinese food. And it's like, we just had Chinese food yesterday. Can't eat Chinese food every day. It's like, well, they do it in China.
Unlike our leaders, who are satisfied with promising a little and delivering nothing,
is there nothing
75 years of CPC leadership has produced something incredible. A society where the average person is better off, especially compared to the generation before. And all those problems I just mentioned, They're actively being addressed. Unlike
That
here,
shouldn't
where
have got me
everything
like that. They do eat Chinese food every day in China, man. Every day.
just gets worse all the time. And while it would be a mistake to attribute China's success to a single strategic decision in a country that is famous for letting its cities and regions experiment with how they want to develop, it would also be a huge mistake to ignore China's Marxist influences. Hardly anything in the US can exist outside the profit motive. We just don't do anything unless some billionaire can get a cut and add another zero to his bank account.
True.
A lot of China's development has followed a similar rule, with guardrails in place to prevent the horrifying inequality we see in the US. But a lot of China's development has also happened even when profit
China builds up, we sprawl out, yeah.
You don't build cities that'll stay empty for years if you're constantly worried about the bottom line. You don't make this many solar panels if your plan is artificial scarcity. Where comfort and survival is incompatible with the greed of a few, China has proven that you can actually do something about that. All I want is for us to start believing that too. I want to actually be for something in the United States. We are all sick and tired of having to fight every little thing the US does tooth and nail. I'm tired of knowing that every action our corporate overlords force through the government will negatively affect our lives. China offers us a vision of a vastly better future. Enough with the anti-China propaganda. Do we want a better life?
Yeah,
or do we
burdened by
want to
peace.
suffer more and more every year? It's time to stop buying the bullshit and fight to be more like China.
Truth. Do agree. All right, what else I got? I'm just gonna watch a couple short videos here. Enter the Chinese century. Enter the century of humiliation for the United States.
Huge bets.
Bro made
I can't hear anything. Yeah, MJ from Spider-Man shockingly has not dressed in a Chinese outfit, in a Chinese dress in a very long time.
Bro made $8.7 million in less than a year on Polymarket. Let's run through a strategy.
There's a wave of new content flooding American social media feeds. Young creators filming themselves making and winning huge bets.
You're taking me
Oh, damn it. This was supposed to be connected to the Joe Rogan thing. Oh,
a few $1,000s on Polymarket in the next couple of days.
Made over $13,000 in one day trading on Polymarket, and a lot of you don't even know what Polymarket is.
The product being sold is Polymarket, a platform where users don't just
I got a short talking about the US being Chinese in the early 2000s. After 9/11? What?
bet on sports or entertainment, they bet on the news itself. Military strikes, government shutdowns, assassinations, or whether Trump says a specific word in a press conference.
Wait, what? When this is over, oil prices are going to go down very, very rapidly.
Bro, he's literally saying it's going down. Bro, $80? Bro, is this free money?
Unlike traditional betting, where you bet against a licensed betting operator, on Polymarket, users bet against each other. They simply bet yes or no on whether something will happen, and the price of that bet changes depending on what the market thinks the chances are. It's a fast-growing industry. User traffic has surged in the past couple of years, and the platforms want you to believe the hype is organic. It isn't. Many of the influencers aren't sharing genuine recommendations. They've been paid for their posts by Polymarket. A report by Politico revealed that the chief marketing officer of Polymarket paid content creators more than $350,000 via a personal PayPal account throughout the course of last year. A Polymarket spokesperson said that the company routinely collaborates with content creators. Polymarket's rival, a company called Kalshi, has also used influencers and Hollywood celebrities to promote their business. The betting industry is criticized for profiting from people's willingness to take financial risks. But prediction companies like Polymarket and Kalshi have pushed that model into particularly uncomfortable territory, what some have described as the depravity economy. Users on these sites are often betting on human suffering, war, deaths, disaster. So
if Trump puts his tweets behind a paywall that everybody has to sign up for, then you basically generate insider trading for anybody that's on True Social and can get his tweets instantly, and then instantly go bet on Polymarket to go make money off of what Trump's been saying. Oh my God.
little surprised that the prediction betting companies have serious PR campaigns underway. The Wall Street Journal found Polymarket worked with a marketing firm called Virality to spread misleading clips of fake bets, basically engineering viral content. But it goes beyond social media. The prediction companies are working through media partnerships with the likes of Dow Jones, the publisher of the Wall Street Journal, and CNN.
You could see this quite well in the Kalshi prediction market. At least according to the Kalshi prediction markets. In terms of the House of Representatives, what are the prediction markets saying at this point?
CNN says their partnership with Kalshi offers a fresh data-based angle on the world. It could be viewed another way, a news company legitimizing a platform that's already shown how easily it can spread misinformation.
That was the Hulk trying to come out and fucking destroy this room. Fuck, bro. Oh my God. Oh yeah, he just posted something not too long ago. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
It's connected to your Bluetooth. Oh shit. dog. Oh shit. Connect to the Bluetooth? Yes! Damn! Undetected. Hold on, let's look at the flock. I'll be on the phone at 2 a.m. scaring myself half to fucking death.
Oh my God.
They saying it's a myth. We gonna the jury out on it.
I was about to say, God,
the jury's out on it.
Next to your Bluetooth?
That's what I'm saying. You gotta do your research first. I ain't want to start making no claims.
Yeah.
I seen it though. It's 2 in the morning, son. You later in bed too. Oh, Bluetooth. Turn my shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
Alexa do be tripping sometimes.
Come on, man.
Alexa do be tripping sometimes.
Come on, man.
What did you say? Nothing. Nothing. I ain't said shit.
Hey, you will be in the car, dead quiet. Nope. You ain't said shit. Siri, what was that? Bitch, you listen to my thoughts?
That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
Listen to my thoughts.
I ain't said shit.
You be sitting there thinking like, man, why I gotta get over? Because this nigga pulled somebody over.
Yeah.
He don't need the whole lane. What was that?
Throw your damn iPhone out the window.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, man. Niggas gonna have to start hopping with a burner. Niggas gonna have to bop out with a burner phone, man.
Yeah.
It just gonna, I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna be in a burner phone society.
Yeah.
Because when the Palantir wireless hit the street, because another thing the flock cameras can do is connect to your Bluetooth.
Oh shit.
Dog.
Oh shit.
No,
connect to the Bluetooth?
Yes!
Damn!
Undetected. Hold on, let's look.
Someone said they never let Mary Jane Watson randomly dress Chinese anymore. But baby, it wasn't just her. Everybody, especially the white girls, were getting a little Asian in the early 2000s. Hi, my name is Tatiana, the girl you follow for everything pop culture. First, I will never forget these slippers. They were dubbed Chinese slippers, and these took over the streets like crack. I personally think it's because a lot of Asian media and tech was making its way into Western cultures and becoming really popularized. Because we're essentially seeing that same effect now with anime. We started seeing this more in the late 90s, and then it started really taking off in the early 2000s. We started seeing more widespread interest in Chinese culture. More people were taking martial arts. More people were getting like Chinese tattoos and not knowing what they were saying. Today, you don't really see people doing this as much because it could be deemed insensitive or be deemed as cultural appropriation. But back then, a white girl with some chopsticks in her hair, you could not tell her nothing. I also like to think that Rush Hour had some type of effect and some type of play in all this, but I can't prove it. Someone said they never let Mary...
Okay, yeah, like Jackie Chan was big, you know, Rush Hour was big, very successful. Yeah. Yao Ming. Yao Ming was big. I was big into Yao Ming. Yao Ming, the best center in the NBA that has ever existed. Should have won a title, was robbed by Mark Cuban. I knew Jackie from his cartoon. Oh yeah, well you guys are young, so like yeah, y'all it's like way 5 feet owl. Like that's like I remember that. I think I was like a freshman when that came out. Jackie Chan Adventures. It was great. That was like what was the Rumble in the Bronx? That was a fantastic movie. I loved it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, back to Flock real quick.
That stuff, right? Hey, you don't mind if we watch you, like, shower and get changed and be naked and all that stuff, right? You do? Wait, but what if, Kylie Jenner? Ooh, you like Kylie
glasses.
Jenner. Look, it's Kylie Jenner. Wow, you want to look like Kylie Jenner. Ooh,
I do.
Won't you do it for a Kylie snack? Wow, look at her. Don't you want to buy our fucking dipshit piece of shit glasses with fucking cameras in them? Ooh, because Kylie Jenner wears them, and you like Kylie Jenner because we told you to. Wow, look at this. And don't look at the Kenyan workers that reported watching thousands of hours of people being on the toilet, having sex, living rooms. All that footage was consensually uploaded to our platforms, by the way. We're not spying on people to train our fucking robots. Why would you think that? Is it because our boss is a reptile? No!
Our boss is a reptile.
Ooh, look at her. She's like you for real, and you can be like her if you buy our dipshit fucking glasses with cameras in them. Wow! It's not just for gooners, it's for Kylie's too. Wow!
Oh man, we're in the gooner era.
Wanna
Yeah.
buy one? Hey, you don't mind if we watch
Hold on, we gotta maybe that's all this is about is trying to goon. What's this? Oh yeah, we'll come back here in a second.
I'm pulling you over, man, because the flock cameras flag your vehicle as belonging to a attractive woman. I've been watching you for like fucking 2 weeks. Better watch out, Kimosabe. This glove right here will shock you. Well, yeah, we got video of you from like 2 weeks ago frowning at a data center, so that's actually why I'm pulling you over. No? Well, you're doing fucking crime, so actually you're under arrest. What do you mean you don't want to date me? I'm a real nice guy. I'm a really nice guy. XY 6497, get out of the car! Get out of the car! Oh, shit. This is 6496. Oh, my bad. How do I unshoot a guy 8 times over? Oh, he's resistant. He's resistant. Oh, my bad. I forgot I was wearing these. Look, I know you're not alive anymore, but let's call it water under the bridge. Your name's got about one too many NYAs for my liking, buddy. Well, you're free to go to the ICE detention facility that we're sending you to. What a cute dog. Can I please pet it? Oh. Hey, it happens. You'll get another one, right? I'm pulling you over, man, because the flock cameras flag your vehicle as
Left his own head. Oh. What did the guy from Blowback say on Hassan's stream? ICE should like try rubbing one out with a glove on, see what happens. Yeah, they're gonna try to do that, right? They are gonna try to do that.
In an email that they left when agitators began interfering. Well, how this arrest went down is now in question. ICE is claiming in an email that they left when agitators began interfering. But my photographer and I were the only ones in this otherwise remote stretch of road in an industrial part of town. Tonight, I am putting ICE's account side by side with what I witnessed.
You can't tell me ICE lies.
11:40 a.m. Friday and saw ICE agents detaining a man they now identify as Ebner Filas from Haiti. Prior to my arrival, ICE claims that he tried to flee. Well, at 11:43, officers placed him in their vehicle after removing him from the SUV that he was driving. ICE now says in an email, quote, during the arrest, agitators attempted to interfere on the side of the highway, creating a more dangerous situation
agitator?
for everyone. while camera angles pointing north and south show no agitators anywhere in the area, let alone trying to interfere. Only myself and my photographer were on the opposite sidewalk across the 3-lane street.
They just
simply
left the car there?
recording what was
In the middle of the road?
They go on to say, quote, to de-escalate the situation and for officer safety, officers quickly took Philas to a safe location down the street. De-escalate means to reduce or calm down a tense, dangerous, or potentially violent situation rather than allowing it to become
So they kidnapped
more
him,
intense.
just left his car there.
Nothing in our video looks potentially violent or dangerous. In fact, just before leaving, an officer was seen looking through the man's vehicle. The only thing you can hear are cars passing by. And the only danger I saw was the man's abandoned SUV that ICE agents left in the roadway. I witnessed multiple vehicles avoiding hitting the parked car. After this semi nearly hit the car, I called 911. Now, a senior DHS official says that beginning Wednesday, all ICE officers and agents must start wearing body cameras on August 12th. Covering the Gulf Coast in Fort Myers, Dave Elias, Gulf Coast News. I called 911. Now, a senior DHS official says that beginning Wednesday, all ICE officers and agents must start wearing body cameras on August 12th. Covering the Gulf Coast in Fort Myers, Dave Elias, Gulf Coast News.
Yeah, we'll see if that's true or not. Okay.
Well, how this arrest went down.
Chill out. All right, guys. That's it for me tonight. Everybody have a good night. Thank you guys for coming. POV, you get to see the shot glows from your line of sight. Just saying. The old stranger, the shocker, the new shocker, shocker 2.0.
Johnny's in America, takes at the wheel.
They should try it.
Nobody needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Johnny's in America, I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. Johnny wants to blame, Johnny wants to suck on a coke. Johnny wants a woman, Johnny wants to think of a joke. Johnny's in America, Johnny looks up at the stars. Johnny combs his hair and Johnny wants pussy and cars. Johnny's in America. Johnny's in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. God is an American.